Okay guys, this is going to be part 2 of the Blazer 650 Pro Team Boat review. Before I get to that, I want to just make a mention. So this is either going to come out on Sunday or Monday, and Wednesday's Veterans Day. So I know I got a lot of viewers who are ex-military. If you served in the military, please post in the comments below what branch you served in and what years you served in, because I want to say thank you, including saying thank you right now for the service you gave to our country and protecting our freedom. And I want to give all of my other anglers that are watching the opportunity to say thank you in the comments below. So please add that down there. Now, I started out doing these videos all as two-parters. And what I have found, and especially since the Vexus video, as I do this every boat, I find more and more stuff to look at. And I don't want to rush through this stuff. I want to be thorough. And this video is already going to be 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post video 2 and video 3 at the same time. Video 2 is mostly speed runs in the boat, and I'm going to show you a rough ride right here in just a second. And then part 3 will be strictly the grading of the boat. So we're going to do that, and then we'll come back. So this video will post, and at the end of this video we'll put up, you'll be able to go right to video 3 and see the grading of the boat. Now, let me just point out, so the footage we're about to jump to, it was blowing, and it was blowing pretty hard. I said I want to see it in every direction. So Chris took it out, and all of us who own boats know that it's rougher to ride as a co-angler than it is to hold that steering wheel. It's just rougher. You're not controlling it, and I don't know what it is. But this is where this boat impressed me. He drove it in a circle, so we drove into him, sideways to him, quartering them every direction, and then back out of them. So we drove this boat in every direction you don't want to drive a boat in. And he drove it a lot faster than I would drive my boat in this stuff. I looked over when we were going into him. He was going 51. And you can see, I mean, we're hammering through them. And I was really impressed with the ride of this boat. I'm going to just tell you right now, it's going to score really well on a performance standpoint for the ride of the boat. And you're going to see why right here. And we're getting bounced around, but we're going really fast in rough seas. So check it out.
Alright guys, so I got to tell you, I'm impressed. Let's take a quick look at the trailer with nothing on it. So there you go. We'll see how it bunks when he pulls it up on there. I had him turn and run with the trailing C. I'll show it to you right here. So that's a 2 foot chop trailing C. And you can see it gets up on top of it and it rides nice. I'll give you some more in a minute. Let's get it out of the water. There's some driver error right there. Bunks up solid.
And here's where my mic shorted out, guys. So I wanted to point out to you here, I really like that big drain. It's similar to what Phoenix has in their floor, which of course is a drain / where their net goes. But what I'm pointing out here is they have sloped the floor, and you can see it. I'm showing you on the right, and you can see it over on the left as well. They've sloped the floor and put channels behind that C deck so that water doesn't sit in the corners. It drains back to the middle. So I've always said in my Ranger it needs drains on either side because I get water piled up in the sides when I'm fishing or running. Well, in this case, they actually gave you a slope so it doesn't do that, which is even smarter than putting a second set of drains in the side there. Guys, I wanted to point this out even though I want to contradict myself. So I'm talking about the old crap handle on the left side here. And it's a little small handle, and come to find out what Chris shared with me was it's a prototype handle they've been fooling with at the factory. And I do not like that handle. But then later I got to see what one of those handles actually looks like in one, and it's a nice rounded handle. It's big enough to get your hand inside of. So the old crap handle in this boat I did not like, but it's a prototype, and Chris tells me that that's not the handle that's in the normal boat. Now, having said that, the old crap handle for your right hand as a co-angler they don't really give you one. What they give you basically is that loop on the side of the seat, which we've talked about. I can't remember which of the other boats, but it was the same thing. And it's really hard to hold on to. Actually, I remember now it's a Phoenix, because I did another Phoenix review today in the PHX, and it's got the same thing. So it really needs a crap handle on the right hand as well, because if you're bouncing a co-angler around, or your wife around, or you're getting yourself bounced around with somebody else driving, you need to be able to hold on with both hands, in my opinion.
Where's your helmet?
Some dummy left it at home because they were told that the rain wasn't going to get here till like noon.
I'm gonna say he should have checked the weather himself. Just saying.
Yep, should have.
All right, guys, so good morning. And you might realize this is not Sam Rayburn Reservoir. So this is sort of a little bit of an experiment I'm real curious about. So the footage you guys are watching from the Blazer test is from about a week ago. And as you see, we're both just wet rats. Matter of fact, Chris and I were just talking. Some of the footage, my mic shorted out because it just rained and rained and rained and rained. But, so we had talked when we were down there. So that old big black Chevy truck you guys see me drive, I got that truck specifically to pull the boat with. It stays down at Rayburn. I can pull my boat at 15.1 miles per gallon. But when it rains, it's about 13.9 miles to the gallon. And I've always assumed that's friction on the road, right? That's the fact that driving in the rain, I mean, there's no heavier wind to drive into than rain. So Chris and I talked about this a bunch, and we were talking about the performance of the Blazer down there. Carpet was wet and it rained, and of course it was windy too. And I kind of forgot about it. And Chris reached out to me Friday and he said, "Are you at Rayburn or are you in Dallas?" And I said, "Well, I'm in Dallas." And he goes, "Man, I got to be in Dallas next Monday to take somebody out on a test ride. Would you be interested in coming over and seeing what the humidity difference is?" So I just checked. Obviously, it's a beautiful day. The humidity, it's 54, 55 degrees, so it's about the same temp we were down there, but it's 49% humidity. So we're gonna we got the same 28 pitch prop on here. We're gonna fill the live wells full. We got full tank of gas. I want to see the boat at its optimal performance, but I'm just curious to see. I think our top speed last week was the run I made by myself at 73.7. So we're gonna take it out and we're gonna wind it up. We've got a perfect day to go fast. Actually, we don't. You want a little bit of chop, but we've got a good day to go fast. We're gonna wind it up and ride around and probably anger these people on this dock a little bit, but they'll probably get a pretty good chuckle out of two dummies on a Monday morning going 70-something miles an hour down Lake Arlington. So we're gonna go check it out, and this will be the final footage probably for the Blazer test, but I'm interested to see what the humidity difference is gonna make. So let's go scope it out. I know my hair looks good, guys, but one of the things that I have not talked about that I should have talked about in every one of these videos is what speed a boat will plane at. And you don't think it's important, but it is. And the reason it's important is, especially in trailing seas, you guys hear me, that's the hardest condition to control a boat. You need a boat that'll plane, I'm going to say 22 to 26 miles an hour.
Did a demo ride out here.
Hold on.
We did a demo ride out here yesterday with a customer, and his main concern is what the slowest speed the boat would stay on pad. Just for that reason, we were able to keep the boat comfortably on pad at 18 miles per hour. At 17, she started falling off the pad.
Let's do that real quick right here. That's a steady 19, 20 miles an hour. I can't tell you guys, before you buy a boat, check that. That is something that's really important.
The thing is, at that speed, you can do whatever you want to do with the boat. Rough water.
So Chris just made a really important point, and this is why a lot of guys carry multiple props. Talk about what you just said.
Well, I went to Lake Erie this year, and that is definitely a different animal. I've been on the Texas lakes with the wind blowing and 6-foot rollers, but up there it's completely different. And I learned that the more blades your prop has on it, the better it carries the nose. We actually took my 4-blade, I think I had a 26 Fury 4 on, and we took it off and we put a Max 5 25 pitch prop on the boat, put 7 degrees of trim in it, and it would just carry the nose around. It felt like you were driving a Toyota Camry down the highway out there in 5 and 6 footers, because it would hold the nose no matter what direction you were going with the wind, and it would allow you to be able to maneuver and drive through it and hold it on pad at low speeds.
So you experienced significant difference between a 4 and a 5 blade?
Oh yes, completely different boat when you go from a 4 to 5 blade. Now you don't.
And
you don't
same
have
thing 3 to 4.
Yeah, same thing 3 to 4.
Yeah.
It will carry your boat better. A lot of the Arkansas River guys like that 4 blade because they're running that shallow water. They're running a lot of times at a low speed. Want to be able to hold that boat up and
corner.
Yeah. And that 4 blade will do it a lot better than a 3 blade will.
Boat driving lessons today, guys. All right, guys, since we're here, you just saw us get, it looked like we touched 75, maybe a little more. I couldn't see the screen. I had a little bit of glare, but I ran at 73.7 by myself the other day. Let's see what it'll do with me in it today. That's pretty quick, guys. We'll put it on the trailer. It'll go a little faster than I could drive it right there, just because I'm holding the camera and I'm not going to kill myself out here. But it's got a little, I'm going to say it's got 78 in it. But that's fast. I mean, that's Go Fast boat fast, and this boat rides better than, well, I say that. I hadn't driven enough Go Fast boats. This boat drives nice. Boy, that is flat hooking them. We're gonna put it on the trailer. Guys, it's spitting rain, so I'm gonna do this with one camera, and I may have to voice over it, but I'm gonna speak loudly so I think you guys will be able to see what's going on. So we're gonna set that right there. Control motor down. Okay, so I am all the way on the starboard side. And now I am all the way on the port side on the front deck. So the boat's got a little bit of list to it. And then we'll go to the back deck. We'll do the same thing. side. Live wells are full. Let it settle. So I think that just said 1.8. So it looks to me like the way that Chris has got his boat loaded. That I just saw a fish eat, and he's sitting on the bank, and I'm gonna go over and catch that fish. The way the boat's sitting in the water, I think he's got his load on the starboard side. As I recall, the batteries are kind of 4 across, so I don't think that's the issue. Did you see that fish? I'm gonna catch him. I'll be there in just a second. Just stay right there. Hey, don't go anywhere. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to catch this fish. Trust me, if he had a rod and reel, he'd already walked down there and thrown on that fish, because he's a Arkansas redneck just like me. So y'all probably couldn't hear us talking, but what we were talking about was he's running, the way the boat's loaded right now, we've been running out of the tank that would make it list the way it's listing, and that's where his tackle is. So that makes sense. Usually when you see a boat listing like that, it's kind of like we saw with the Charger, where Clint had the ginormous oxygen bottle in there. There's a reason for it, so that is the reason. Not as clean as the Davis. It's cleaner than my Ranger.
There's the lights I want to talk to you about. When your navigation lights are on, you've got your anchor light. If you've got these and they shoot a soft glow downward, they don't go up. But on those foggy days, it gives a little more light to see you. I do a lot of night fishing on Lake Hamilton in Arkansas, which is lined with docks. That anchor light will blend in the distance with them dock lights. So it's just a little extra light to help keep you from getting run over.
All right, guys, so there you go, 650 Pro Tour Blazer. Chris, I appreciate you letting us look at it, bringing it down here to us.
I enjoyed it.
I did too. We almost caught some fish.
Almost.
All right, guys, I'll post this up. And by the way, and one thing I will point out, in some of that video, and I'll probably talk about this again, some of the wiggling going on in the front of that boat, and we talked about that, it gives a false impression of that Lowrance bracket, and it's not the Bass Boat, what's that bracket called? Bass, it's not that. It's that little old flimsy Lowrance gimbal mount. I noticed it when we first took off this morning. It was all over the place. So
yeah, you could see it going when you're driving down the highway. You can look up and
yeah, it's wiggling on you. So, but there you go. It's a good looking boat, and it rides real well. So we'll get a couple videos up here, and we'll get it graded out somewhere in the next week or so. Thanks, guys.